Welcome to DPS Setups, the mini-series aimed at getting you into tip-top shape for the final shape with zero fluff and no messing around as standard. Whisper of the Worm has always been one of the outright best options in terms of being one of the highest total damage weapons, but it comes with the massive downside of being extremely unforgiving for the uninitiated, as the Whisper will punish you for not landing your shots. This is why such things as rockets, linears, anarchy and even mountaintop rose to dominance thanks to the ease of use factor they offer, while still being able to dish out some top tier boss melting endgame damage, albeit not at the extreme high end of the scale that the Whisper can reach. However, with the launch of the Into the Light update for Destiny 2, there's going to be a huge shake up to the DPS meta as we know it. Forget about the 40% buff to micro missile for a second and let's focus on Whisper of the Worm. This exotic is coming back for what could be the zillionth time as arguably the most reissued exotic of all time. That's because it's now going to be craftable, but what does that all mean and why should you be getting giddy? Well, Whisper of the Worm is currently top tier for damage like I said, and if you can mind my awful solo gameplay, you'll see that I hit a remarkable 1.87 million damage in a DPS phase all by itself. Granted, I missed a shot or two, so I had to throw in a swift reload, and I also chucked a Starfire fusion nade into the mix, but this on its own is pretty wild, especially when you consider that to get to these lofty numbers with other popular DPS options, there's generally some sort of jiggery pokery going on with weapon rotations and whatnot. That is where the Whisper shines. It doesn't require any damage rotation nonsense, just some cold hard calculated pressure as you ADS whilst being flinched to the moon after each pull of the trigger. Plus, it's even easier these days as you literally don't even need to pull the trigger each time, as the full auto option in the settings menu can do this for you. Stand in a well of radiance, make sure you've got free solar weapon surges for a 22% damage boost, any of your favourite debuffs and you're off to the races. Whisper of the Worm is essentially an aggressive frame sniper rifle which comes with higher base precision damage thanks to its white nail intrinsic perk. Again, this means you are rewarded for landing precision shots, but you'll see a steep drop in damage for non-precision hits. You can also fire it near on indefinitely, as landing 3 rapid precision shots in a short space of time will refill its magazine. This effectively pulls 1 from thin air and 2 from reserves to do this, and so even with its upcoming buff to its ammo reserves, it does have excellent ammo economy. You do only have 3 shots in the magazine, so like I said earlier, it makes this exotic have a really high skill cap, but its base version also comes with Mulligan, which has a chance to return missed shots to the magazine, which can help with keeping white nail rolling and your DPS to the max. A normal shot on a boss hits for 63,889 as shown here on Carl, the now improved and upgraded Lost Sector boss. But it's arguably the exotic catalyst which lets Whisper of the Worm cook even the toughest of raid bosses. This grants whispered breathing when you aim down sights without firing for 1.2 seconds and increases the precision multiplier by 35% and grants a further 10% damage boost to combatants. With the upcoming reserve buff, you could in theory hit a total of 35 shots if my maths are correct, which gives you a total damage output of around 3.3 million. If you don't have the exotic catalyst, it will drop from the legend version of the exotic mission from the Into the Light update. This also means it's going to be craftable, which to be honest grants us a few extra options to manipulate its perks with. You can get all the usual options for its barrel and magazine options. I'd be looking at bumping up its stability with fluted barrel and maybe even steady rounds. This is because a higher stability stat will grant you flinch reduction, which is massive in terms of Whisper's usability. For that reason, I'm probably going to look at getting no distractions instead of Mulligan as the exotic trait. This will grant a 35% flinch reduction after 0.5 seconds when aiming down sights, which as you can tell fits like a glove with Whispered Breathing's timer. This with high stability will make it a ton easier to land your shots and maximise Whisper's immense damage potential. So there we go, I hope you enjoyed this DPS breakdown of one of Destiny's most iconic exotics. I'm really looking forward to running a new exotic mission once more and crafting my very own Whisper. If you made it this far, your ongoing support is greatly appreciated. If you've been here before, consider subscribing or even joining our members to get some bonus goodies to show off in the comments. As always, shout out to these members for keeping the channel alive. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next one.